What's going on, y'all? How y'all doing? Man, I know it's been a minute. We're talking about my desk setup for 2021. 2021 is basically over. I know y'all like, who cares? We got Pixels, we got Samsungs, we got all these different phones coming out. Here I am talking about my desk setup. Look, I got a lot to say about those things, so there will be videos coming out on those. But right now, this is just something I wanted to do for a minute, since a lot of people do want to know what people are using on a day-to-day basis, whether it be streaming or just your content creation setup. What do you use? So that's what we're talking about. So let's go ahead and get Now, the first item we're gonna bring up on this list, my desk itself. Had this desk for a long time. I think I bought it on Craigslist like probably 6, 7 years ago. It feels like it was probably like 5 or 6 or something like that for maybe 80 to $100. It definitely was an IKEA desk originally. I don't believe you can get this desk anymore, but it's a huge desk, very really deep. I believe it's like 63 inches wide by like 30 something inches deep. Like, I love this desk. It just allows me to be able to I have so much space just to do stuff. And the fact that I'm rocking this small minimalistic Mac setup, it just opens things up. I have so much arm room. Everything just is open. So don't be afraid of looking on Craigslist or going into the third or the second hand options. I understand, being cautious, using those avenues, Facebook Marketplace and such. Don't write it off just because it's secondhand. You can find some gems secondhand. That brings me to the next item, which would be my Yamaha HS5 studio monitors. Now, these monitors, if you don't know, if you're, if you're an audio person in some way into music production, something, I know you've heard about these things. I've seen them everywhere. I actually just seen them in the background of like one of MKBHD's videos. Um, they're basically everywhere if you go to a studio. That's where I first saw them. And from that moment when I was looking to get speakers, I knew I wanted to go to the monitor route. Just a cleaner, more accurate sound. You're not gonna get a ton of bass unless you go ahead and get a subwoofer, which I don't have. It sounds great, sounds clean. When I don't want to use headphones when I'm editing a video, it's perfect for that. Just everything just comes out nice and clean and crisp. The color just goes good with my setup. As far as like how, that coincides with my desk, like I said, I bought the desk on Craigslist, bought the HS5s at the pawn shop. Now, I believe they were still new, just kind of an open box deal, but discounted nonetheless. If you try to go to Guitar Center to pick these up, they're still at Guitar Center, as old as these are, still running like, I think, three something, $400. I can't remember. Links and everything will be below, but dope set of studio monitors. If that's something that goes to your, like, they have them in white as well. I had the black and white. That's all they had at the pawn shop. So anyway, let's go on to the next thing. The next item we got is my mic. So I just figured I'd talk about all the studio stuff. So we got the studio monitors and we got the mic that I'll be using for streaming. And sometimes, some talking head videos, if I want to kind of switch this look around, we'll rock the mic. I haven't really got a chance to really open up and test the audio on that mic and kind of tweak some things because that's just an area I still got to learn myself. But the mic though itself looks dope, which is something that I always end up going for. More so, even more so for quality a lot of times. Like, if it looks good, I'm probably gonna try it out, at least give it a fair shot. But it's called the Blue Spark. I spent all this time talking about it. I don't even know the name, but it's the Blue Spark. That's the blackout edition, I believe. I've seen the reviews of it. People do suggest it, so if that's enough, I think it's a good product. I think once I get it dialed in, it'll sound good. It is kind of expensive, so I would not suggest it for anybody just starting up or anything. But yeah, dope mic. So let's go ahead and get into the computing side of it. We'll talk about the peripherals. I'm rocking the Logitech suite of peripherals for the Mac. We got the Logitech MX Master keys and the MX Master 3 mouse for the Mac. It's, I guess, like it's it works good for me. I love the features, being able to use different shortcuts with the buttons, um, and the keyboard as well has those shortcuts. Being able to quick toggle from different, I think up to three different devices. So I typically would have my iPad as my sidecar when I'm doing a stream or something, and I can have like the comments down below or the comments down below and still keep the stream up at the main display. And if I needed to ever type on it, I can just hit the button on the MX keys and then switch to start typing on the iPad if I need to do that. But like it's a dope setup, man. Like I like just being able to quickly switch between stuff, and it all works pretty seamlessly for the most part. Early on, there was some Bluetooth issues, but that was more due to Apple. Still, dope set of keyboard and mouse. Like can't go wrong. Logitech, they do a good job. So along with that, I also have the Magic trackpad. That's definitely overkill. This entire setup is overkill, honestly. Especially for somebody who's just starting out. I want to just preface that as well. This is really mainly for aesthetic purposes. I love my setup for that reason alone, but that's not a reason for a lot of people to go out and get a good setup just because it looks good. Definitely not. You want to make sure you're getting the best that you can afford, and yeah, because some of this stuff is kind of like nuts. Like the trackpad is definitely like it's like I think 150 bucks, 120 something like that. Link below, but I like being able to switch from the mouse. Sometime I don't like always using the mouse. Sometimes I want to chill and use the trackpad, and it's dope. I get all the swipe features, all those gestures and whatnot. So I like the trackpad as well. Mac Mini M1 along with my LG Ergo 27-inch 1440p monitor. I'm coming from a ultra wide 34-inch Samsung monitor that I had for a few years. I still have it, but the Ergo is just something about it. Like I like how it mounts to the back of the desk. I got three mounts. I got the mount for the monitor, the mic mount, then I got the camera mount, which I'll talk about last. But um, just the setup itself with the monitor being the way it's mounted, the Mac Mini M1, small, compact. I just have so much room on my desk, and I like that. Like I've changed from I don't want anything cluttered. I don't like that. It just feels so good just to have all that open space. Even if I do get a little messy, I got some food or whatever on there. I got enough real estate. I got enough room to have all that. I can have a whole meal, a whole Thanksgiving dinner right here on the desk and still be good. Like that's kind of what I was going for. So just having enough room to eat and just stretch out. I just need the elbow space. But so the I spent all that time talking about elbow space and eating. Um, the Ergo monitor though is really dope. Like USB-C compatible. I got everything hooked up to the dock. It's really minimalistic on the cables. That the the Ergo also features like a cable management kind of deal. You can run all the cables from the back through underneath, and I have it running through the bottom of the desk. And it's a nice, clean setup for the most part. I actually invested a little bit of time into cable management with this setup as well. And the Mac Mini M1, I only got the 8 GB version, 256. Just kind of, for the most part, kind of testing it out. Doesn't feel like I'm really missing out on too much. Aside from the RAM, I would say is probably the only shortcoming, and maybe storage. But I don't feel like I'm sacrificing on speed. It's plenty fast for what I do. Browsing and video editing and photo editing, all that stuff can be handled by the Mac Mini M1. I guess the only thing I just gotta be knowledge or you have to be mindful of is the RAM usage, with it only being 8 gigs. So that's what I'm using in my setup. Got the skin, as you can see, got the wood skin. Got that from Sophie Guard, one of those. I can't remember the name, but They have an assortment of different skins that you can get for your Mac Mini M1. I'll throw the link to the site itself up there, and you can go check those out if you have that. So like I mentioned before, being able to use USB-C with the Mac Mini and the LG Ergo. I also got this OWC Thunderbolt 3 dock. Um, Added some more ports to my Mac Mini because we're kind of short on ports these days with some of these Apple products. But the OWC Thunderbolt 3 dock is quite another expensive device. But it was the only one of the few Thunderbolt 3 docks that offered the peripherals that I was looking for. I was looking for multiple USB-C ports, as well as an SD card reader, and multiple USB A ports on the back. So the I/O is exactly what I need. I believe it was about $250, $300. Again, I can't remember off the top, but the link will be below if you want to check that out. Lastly, my camera that I'm going to be using for streaming. I was debating on just dumping everything Fuji and going right into Sony, but I said, you know what, man? I see y'all Sony people out there. The Sony squad is deep, man. Like, it's everybody out here rocking Sony, but for that reason alone, I decided to say, you know what? I'm Fuji, man. I'm Fuji gang all day. We rocking the X-T4, recording on the X-T4 right now. I got my streaming, vlogging, whatever, if I do vlogs, camera, the XS10. And I love the camera. It's basically the exact same as the X-T4 minus a few features. You get the small body, and you get all the other great features of the Fuji X-T4 and that form factor. So, again, I'll talk about some of those things in a little bit more in depth when I actually do review the product, but that's what I'm using. Links and everything below. Also got the GVM light that I'm going to be using for streaming as well. So all the mounts and everything, I ain't going to talk about those really in depth in the video, but I'll put them in the link in the description below. My guy Tech King Mike hooked me up with the boom arm, with the blue boom arm to match my blue mic. So shouts out to you, bro. I appreciate that for sure. I'm using it, love it. It just adds more to my setup, so I appreciate that. But that's basically it, man. That's all we got for the setup. Lastly, I thought I was gonna say last, but it wasn't last. I apologize. This is literally the last one. You see me. We rocking the Herman Miller. You know how we get down. This is the Herman. No, I'm just playing. Nah, this is the autonomous chair. I can't remember the exact name, but I love this thing. It was kind of expensive, like a lot of the stuff I keep buying. It has so many different adjustments, though. You get armrest adjustments, you get up and down adjustments, you get back, lumbar, you get neck adjustments. You get all this stuff in this chair, and it's super comfortable. I decided to get this over the typical gamer racing style because that ain't my style. This is more my style. It's clean. It matches the more modern kind of look that I'm going for with my setup. So that's why I got this, and I love it, and I'm never letting it go. Anyway, that's all I got in my setup. That's 2021 setup. It's your man, Wayne Train. If you got this far, I would appreciate if you just hit the like. That's all, and leave a comment, man, for sure. Leave a comment, get some conversation popping. I really would appreciate that, though. But anyway, it's your man, Wayne Train. I'm out.